So I was diagnosed with CAPD when I was in first grade. And now I'm 32. And I thought that it might be helpful for parents and school employees to understand what it's like to have CAPD. I explain it to people in public when they're talking to me, and I say, I'm really sorry, I didn't hear you. I'm like, actually, I could hear your voice, but I could not process what you were saying because I can hear everything else. Kind of like if you're trying to talk to me in a foreign language. I hear it, I hear your voice, but for some reason I can't understand what you're saying. So what helps? Well, what helps my anxiety that I finally got 2 years ago was this ear filter. So it's got a little tube, and this fits in the top. It literally just goes on the outside like that. Kids can't explain or even understand what they're feeling. Of course I had major anxiety. I could hear, when I was getting ready in the morning, I could hear the outlet go tss, tss, tss. I could hear somebody's voice across the room. And every once in a while, it's like I couldn't pick and choose what I understood. And sometimes I could hear a little bit of what they were saying across the room, and it just comes into my head. And I still haven't figured out what would help me learn. What would help me what's the word? Retain the information. I did not find it helpful when the teacher had a mic, if it was speakers around the outside, or if I had the little speaker in front of me. That didn't help. It's the reason that I didn't make it far in college. I enjoyed a lot more when my parents gave me the permission to take whatever classes interested me and just audit them, so that my stress of the homework and the work was taken away. And I started gaining confidence. I sat up front, and I was the one that often would just start asking questions to the professor, and we'd get into this deep discussion with the whole class. And I did learn a lot that way. I did not learn a lot by reading or doing homework, because I was so filled with anxiety anyways. It's so hard to focus on one thing that you're required to focus on, whereas taking away that demand and simply just taking away that stress and being able to simply just be there, that's what gained my confidence. I did graduate high school, but I was also, the teachers liked me. I was quiet a lot of the time, and I know that they really helped get me through my classes, and almost would do like a sliding scale. But I remember going in so many days to get extra help from my teachers on math and science, and for the life of me, I did not retain science, and math was such a struggle for me. It made me feel so stupid. And now I take a lot of notes when I try to learn things, and I do read for fun certain books that interest me, but it does have to be quiet. And just taking away the stress of what I have to do helps so much. And when I take notes, I have to go back through the notes, and I literally cut out the parts that aren't helpful for me. And then I take the strips and copy it onto a copier. And then I go back through and I highlight and try to just, I say dumb it down, but keep it simple. Something else that I could not do was read and try to understand which parts I was supposed to remember and how I was supposed to sum it up. So now I just take little bits and pieces of what's helpful to me. And something else that I wish that I would have had in school is the option to get up and leave when I was overloaded with anxiety without having to explain it. Because as kids, you don't understand why you're anxious. We're not taught how to reflect on what we're feeling. And one part that was hard was being treated like I was disabled. Because the last thing you want in school is to be set apart. So I really hope that in the future they understand that having kids just sit in class until they're 18 is not good for everybody. And that for people like us, it's much better to focus sooner on our passions and teach us how to reflect. Help gain our confidence that way to point out what helps us. Because no kid is the same. And wasting all that time learning about subjects that I did not retain, and all it did was lower my confidence. That was a waste of time. And it took, at 32, I finally am understanding how to learn, and it can't be a requirement of what other people tell me I have to learn. But man, has it been hard to figure out for years. I met a kid at a dog park who had a really nice camera, and he was taking pictures, and I talked to him, and he said that he goes to this school on the East Coast that focuses on artistic passions, and what his passion was photography. So he got to spend a lot more time learning about photography and carrying this camera around. My hope is that there's a lot more schools like that and a lot less requirements for basic subjects, and focus more on the ones that are actually going to help us succeed in life.